names of Jerusalem refers to the multiple names by which the city of Jerusalem has been known and the etymology of the word in different languages. According to the Jewish Midrash, Jerusalem has 70 names. Lists have been compiled of 72 different Hebrew names for Jerusalem and Jewish scripture. Today, Jerusalem is called Yerushalayim in Hebrew. This is a derivation of a much older name, recorded as early as in the Middle Bronze Age, which has however been repeatedly reinterpreted in folk etymology, notably in Biblical Greek, where the first element of the name came to be associated with hieros, holy. The most common names in Arabic are Al-Quds and Bayt Al-Maqdis, meaning the holy city home. Early extra-biblical and biblical names. Jerusalem equals. A city called Yerushalayim in the execration texts of the Middle Kingdom of Egypt is sometimes identified as Jerusalem, although this has been challenged. Jerusalem is called either Jerusalem or Yerushalayim in the Amarna letters of Abdi Heba. Also in the Amarna letters, it is called Beth Shalem, the House of Shalem. The Sumero-Akkadian name for Jerusalem, Yerushalayim, is variously etymologized to mean foundation of, or, by the god Shalam from Hebrew Semitic a euro to found, to lay a cornerstone, a euro unregistered trademark, and Shalam, the Canaanite god of the setting sun and the netherworld, as well as of health and perfection. Jerusalem is the name most commonly used in the Bible, and the name used by most of the Western world. The biblical Hebrew form is unregistered trademark Yerushalayim, adopted in biblical Greek as I unregistered trademark I micron I florin I plus or minus I registered trademark I 1/4 hieros I unregistered trademark I micron I florin I 1/4 I plus or minus hieros, and in early Christian Bibles as Syriac angstrom realem, Latin hieros or Yerushalayim. In Arabic this name occurs in the form oyo plus or minus o cubed omu angstrom rsalim. The name Shalem, whether as a town or a deity, is derived from the same root as the word Shalom, meaning peace, so that the common interpretation of the name is now the city of peace, or abode of peace. The ending aram indicates the dual in Hebrew, thus leading to the suggestion that the name refers to the two hills on which the city sits. However, the pronunciation of the last syllable as aram appears to be a late development, which had not yet appeared at the time of the Septuagint. In Genesis Rabbah 56:10, the name is interpreted as a combination of he will see, to it, and Shalem, the city of King Melchizedek. A similar theory is offered by Philo in his discussion of the term God's city. Other Midrashim say that Jerusalem means city of peace, Shalom. In Greek, the city is called either Yerushalayim or Hieros. The latter exhibits yet another re-etymologization, by association with the Greek word hieros, holy. Similarly, the Old Norse form Jorsala exhibits a reinterpretation of the second element as sala, denoting a hall or temple, common in Old Norse toponyms. Shalem equals, that the name Salem refers to Jerusalem is evidenced by Psalm 76:2, which uses Salem as a parallel for Zion, the citadel of Jerusalem. The same identification is made by Josephus and the Aramaic translations of the Bible. Shalem was the Canaanite god of dusk, sunset, and the end of the day, also spelled Shalem. Many scholars believe that his name is preserved in the name of the city Jerusalem. It is believed by some scholars that the name of Jerusalem comes from Yera plus Shalem, meaning the foundation of Shalem or founded by Shalem or city of Shalem, and that Shalem was the city god of the place before El Elyon. Zion equals. Mount Zion was originally the name of the hill where the Jebusite fortress stood, but the name was later applied to the Temple Mount just to the north of the fortress originally. Still later, the name came to be applied to a hill just to the southwest of the walled city. This latter hill is still known as Mount Zion today. From the point of view of the Babylonian exile, Zion has come to be used as a synonym of the city of Jerusalem as a whole. Other biblical names Mount Moriah was a part of Yevus city inhabited by the Jebusites. According to the Bible, this land was sold to King David by Ornan for the full price of purchase. 1 Chr 21:26 in order to build an altar in the threshing floor for sacrifice, in staying the plague God had visited upon Israel. Solomon later built the temple there. The Jebusite stronghold at the time was called Zion, which David took by force, and it afterward began to be called the City of David. 2 Sam 5:7-10, Biblical Hebrew K unregistered trademark, Biblical Greek IOII to the first I plus or minus I Marias, Biblical Latin Moriah, Arabic UO plus or minus use UO section Moriah or Moriah Hebrew O to the first J unregistered trademark 001 Mariah. City of David. The City of David is the biblical term for the Iron Age walled fortress. Now the name of the corresponding archaeological site just south of the Temple Mount, City of Jebus in Judges 19:10, Adonai Jireh the Lord sees, in Vulgate Latin Dominus Vide. In the opinion of some rabbinic commentators, the combination of Iri with Shalem is the origin of the name Jerusalem. Never Zedek Oasis of Justice, Tiberian Hebrew O degree O micron paragraph section the unregistered trademark YHR to the first and AEK, in the book of Jeremiah 31:22. Ariel in Isaiah 29:1-8, Aha Kodesh, Aha Kadosha meaning City of the Holy Place Holiness, unregistered trademark gigahertz copyright, City of the Great King, Hebrew, Kiryat Melech Ravas in Psalm 48:2. Koine Greek, Polis Megala Basilios as in Matthew 5:35. Tiberian Hebrew megahertz J degree unregistered trademark OO paragraph OEO paragraph show degree J Kirai or to the first millia micron Ra A. Greco-Roman, Elia Capitolina was the Roman name given to Jerusalem in the 2nd century, after the destruction of the Second Temple. The name refers to Hadrian's family, the gens Elia, and to the hill temple of Jupiter built on the remains of the temple. During the later Roman era, the city was expanded to the area now known as the Old City of Jerusalem. Population increased during this period, peaking at several hundred thousand, numbers only reached again in the modern city, in the 1960s. From this name derive Arabic Oshiyus Ho terahertz E1/4 Elia E1/4, Tiberian Hebrew O micron unregistered trademark OEO unregistered trademark 001/4 MHz O1/4 unregistered trademark O to the first OEO unregistered trademark OE1/4 Ashley OH Kappa registered trademark R to the first LA registered trademark NA H, Standard Hebrew O micron unregistered trademark OEO unregistered trademark 001/4 MHz O1/4 unregistered trademark O to the first OEO unregistered trademark O Elia Capitolina. The Roman name was loaned into Arabic, as E1/4 Elia E1/4, early in the Middle Ages, and appears in some hadith, like Bayt Al-Maqdis. Islamic, Jerusalem fell to the Muslim conquest of Palestine in 638. The medieval city corresponded to what is now known as the Old City. Population at the time of the Muslim conquest was about 200,000, but from about the 10th century it declined to less than half that number by the time of the Christian conquest in the 11th century, and with the reconquest by the Khwarezmi Turks was further decimated to about 2,000 people. The modern Arabic name of Jerusalem is Oom Al-Quds, and its first recorded use can be traced to the 9th century CE, 200 years after the Muslim conquest of the city. Prior to the use of the name Al-Quds, the names used for Jerusalem were Oshiyus Ho terahertz Elia and Om Sho Oom Bayt Al-Maqdis, Bayt Al-Maqdis from which the name Al-Quds is derived. The name Om Sho Oom Bayt Al-Maqdis, Bayt Al-Maqdis is a direct translation of the Hebrew name for the temple, unregistered trademark gigahertz copyright Bayt HaMikdash, both literally meaning the House of the Holy. Al-Quds is the most common Arabic name for Jerusalem and is used by many cultures influenced by Islam. The word Quds is derived from the Semitic root Qds, meaning holy. The variant Al-Quds or Angstrom RF has also been used, notably by the Ottomans, who also used the Persian-influenced Qudsai Angstrom era registered trademark F. Arabic Oom Al-Quds the Holy, Oom Oom plus or minus Ushu Al-Quds or Angstrom Harif the Holy Sanctuary, Turkish Kuda 1/4 S, Azeri Qa 1/4 DS. Qa 1/4 Tsai Angstromi unregistered trademark Rif, Tiberian Hebrew O megahertz to the first O 1/4 O paragraph K Ha Kodesh the Holy, Standard Hebrew Omegahertz to the first O1/4 O paragraph K Kodesh, Persian Euro cubed Quds, Urdu Euro cubed Quds or Quds e Angstrom Harif, Bayt al-Maqdis or Bayt al-Maqdis is a less commonly used Arabic name for Jerusalem, a variant of the previous. It is the base from which nisbas are formed, hence the famous medieval geographer called both al-Maqdisi and al-Muqaddasi. This name is used in the Hadith. The name is in reference to the Hebrew name for the Jewish temple in Jerusalem, Beit HaMikdash. Avar th degree th to the first n on florin th through ith degree thn shththn Azari beta 1/4 elmar 1/4 key unregistered trademark dde unregistered trademark s, Malay Bayt Al-Maqdis, Persian om shoyu euro o cubed, Turkish Bet Muqaddis, Urdu om shoyu euro o cubed, Oomo mo terahertz al-Balawat the first is a rare poetic name for Jerusalem in Arabic, loaned from the Latin Palatium Palace. Also from Latin is Oshius ho terahertz e1/4 elir e1/4, a rare name for Jerusalem used in early times Middle Ages, as in some hadith. See also, names of the Levant. References. Bibliography Patterson, David, Hebrew Language and Jewish Thought, Routledge, ISBN 9780415346979. External links, The Name Jerusalem and Its History PDF.